I am Michelle McPherson, and this is The Michelle McPherson Show, the only internet marketing podcast dedicated to answering your burning business questions. Find us and submit your own questions at FromIdeaToEmpire.com. And now for today's episode. This is called the Pinterest bump, and what you can see if you head on over to MichelleMcPherson.com and look for the post titled The Pinterest Bump is search engine rankings for a keyword phrase that was previously invisible in Google that is now at position 8 in Google. So from absolutely nowhere, unfound, non-existent in the Google search engine results pages to page 1. And we did this with just a couple of Pinterest pins. It literally couldn't be easier. I will take this kind of result every time. Pinterest is a valuable tool for SEO when it is done correctly. Now we've got a screenshot over at MichelleMcPherson.com again. This one is a key phrase that went from position 8 to position 11 in 3 days. I originally discovered this Pinterest bump in 2012 and I made a video about it. So here's what was discovered back then. Now here's a story that's a little bit different. In mid-March, I wrote a blog post and I pinned on Pinterest the image associated with that blog post, and it was a pair of shoes that I'd seen in the Nordstrom catalog and I thought were cute. The shoes went somewhat viral on Pinterest and they accumulated a couple of hundred pins at that point. And that was awesome, and it brought in some extra traffic to my site and good stuff all around. Now, Google caught wind of this, and then they actually ranked my image of the shoes in position number 1 in Google image search for that designer's name. Now, every time his shoes appear in the Nordstrom catalog that they send in mail, then I get a big old spike of traffic as people go to look it up on the internet. So you can see one of those spikes right here. Now, all in all, this keyword has brought me over 4,000 new visitors from Google. And I installed a frame breaker plugin to bring visitors who come from Google image search to break out of that Google image search frame and put them directly on my site so that I could further maximize the lucky accident that this page ranked as it did. It's actually now received over 2,000 pins since I originally posted it, and it's still getting traffic spikes today like the one that you see here. And this made me think, I wonder if Pinterest can achieve this kind of result regularly, and does it only work with Google image search, or can Pinterest help one rank in the regular search engine results pages also? To find out, I ran a test. I sent about 600 pins. Again, this was a Fiverr gig to another post. The post had no ranking at all for its main keyword phrase. In fact, it still doesn't rank for its main keyword phrase. So we could say that it was a failure, right? Well, not quite. Because what this page did end up ranking for was a huge surprise to me, and something that I haven't seen anybody else talk about. This page now ranks in Google at position number 6. Now, not Google image search, but Google itself, for the words that were used in the caption of the Pinterest image. Now, it turns out that Google looks at the way that people describe the image on Pinterest much like anchor text. However it's captioned and described is what Google sees as what that page should rank for. Now, the Fiverr gig allowed for a few images to be pinned, and the second image that I pinned took about a week longer to actually show up in the Google search engine results pages. But when it did, it ranked in position 8, and it also ranked for the words that had been used in its Pinterest description. It did not rank for the key phrase that the page itself was targeting. Now, SEO Moz conducted an experiment in 2011 on Google's treatment of Twitter links being similar. So on a site like Twitter, there's no anchor text. There's just the tweet and then the link. Now, SEO Moz found that the text within the tweet would serve as an anchor text. It would serve as a ranking signal. And that a link, a page, could rank for a key phrase that was in the tweet without any other link building or proper anchor text, just based on the fact that the tweet itself said, "Happy birthday," a page could rank for that key phrase, for example. Now, Pinterest is similar. There is no anchor text. There's only an image, and the image has a description below it, and Google is looking at that description to determine what that page should actually rank for. Today, the Pinterest bump is alive and well. In fact, it's thriving. What do you need to take advantage of the Pinterest bump? That is, how do you use Pinterest for SEO? Well, you'll need two things. The first is a well-maintained Pinterest account. If you don't have one already, we do it and have some instructions for you on how to do it at michellemcpherson.com. Post is titled Our 1,500 Visits a Day Pinterest Traffic Strategy. If you don't want to do it yourself, of course, we can do it for you. Head on over to socialmediadaily.com to get our team on the case. The second thing you'll need is an attractive pin that's likely to go viral or in the least will encourage repins. We should not be using stock photos. If you don't have a graphics person on hand, again, our team can take care of that for you at socialmediadaily.com. Once you've got those two things in place, then you move on to actually pinning. So I've got an example of a pin done wrong. The caption of that pin, so there's an image and then it has a caption on Pinterest. And the caption says, working long hours is often a symptom of bigger problems within your business. And that caption is the key phrase that the pin is targeting, because that's how pins on Pinterest work. The caption becomes your targeted key phrase. And that, working long hours is often a symptom of bigger problems within your business, that long key phrase is not something that people are actually searching for in Google. So the pin isn't giving the post that it links to any useful SEO benefit. I mean, sure, there are links pointing to it, and legitimate backlinks are always good, but those backlinks aren't helping the post rank for any specific key phrase. Now, another pin that we've screenshotted at michellemcpherson.com is targeting a specific key phrase. This is a pretty lame stock photo, but the SEO benefit is much stronger with this pin. The caption on it targets the long tail key phrase at-home exercise routines, and then within that, it's also targeting exercise routines, which receives a higher search volume, and of course would be a fantastic thing to rank for in Google, assuming that you had a site within that niche. There is a correlation between the number of repins that your pin receives and the boost that you'll get in Google. More pins or more repins leans towards a higher jump in Google search ranking. There's also a correlation between the competition of the key phrase you're attempting to rank for and the amount of the bump that you'll get from the repinning activity. A higher competition key phrase will need more repins to move up in the Google results pages. The key to this strategy is getting those repins. You've got to have them to make this work. So again, go to michellemcpherson.com, look at our post, the 1,500 visits a day Pinterest traffic strategy. If you are unsure how to create and develop a Pinterest account that will get the kinds of repins that you need to receive this SEO benefit. Also at michellemcpherson.com, if you have any questions about this particular strategy, click the Ask Anything tab and I'll give you a hand with whatever is worrying you about it. All right, thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.